All rise! Hello, welcome back. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell once you do, and don't forget to hit the like button and share this out. So today's TDOR, Trans Day of Remembrance, or some people may know it as Trans Day of Resilience. And today there's going to be a candlelight vigil. I skipped the part of doing my face because I needed to focus on that so I can ensure that everything's good. Plus, time was a major restraint. So we're running a little late. We're going to head to the mural, which you've seen in season 1 when we went to the candlelight vigil for Elise. So we're going to be honoring trans lives that were lost this year, as well as paying respects. And since we're running a little behind, we're going to go ahead and head out of here. But before I do, I'm going to show you. I am repping my Vern, Elevate with Vern's polo, my hoodie today, Love and Light. And I'm repping some earrings from Tia Ewing's accessories line. Pink Hearts, it was her Valentine's Day collection that she came out with in 2021. So we're gonna go ahead and show a little love and light today. But it's almost 2 and pre-ceremony starts at 2:30, so let's hit it. Let's hit the road. So we're here. We're actually at we're near the mural. The mural is like right over there, which you'll see in a minute. It's gonna be a few minutes before we start. I need to print what I'm gonna say, and then we'll be starting in a few minutes. And you're coming along, so let's see what it's giving. So we are about to start in a few minutes. Trying to get a good view. Oh, okay. I like the way I'm looking right here. So we're about to start in a few minutes. There's the mural. It has to be done a few times because someone wanted to be mean and try to deface it. So this is how it looks now. Same one. Hopefully this goes well. We're gonna get started.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We're gathering on the stolen land of the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations to observe Transgender Day of Remembrance and Resilience. We're here together. And in the next 90 minutes together, you're going to hear from our amazing speakers so we can remember and honor our fallen siblings. And then we're going to take a walk to Waldorf School and nourish our bodies with hot chocolate, because that's how we grieve. And that is our resilience. And then we're going to have a fire ceremony. And after that, we're going to connect and be with one another. We are here together. I know some of us have grieved alone for the past year or every year, but right here, right now in this moment, we're not standing alone. I know that we know it here, but I want to invite us to take a moment to know it here. If your body feels like softening your gaze and looking down at the floor and feel the support of gravity and earth rising up to support your feet, I invite you to take a moment. If it feels right in your body, to turn to the left and look at your neighbors and greet them in whichever way that feels just right for you. I invite you to take a moment to do so. And if it feels right for you, I invite you to turn to the other side and greet your neighbors. We're here standing together. And I want to officially welcome parts of you that are cold, parts inside of you that are in pain, that are tender from grief, parts of you that are enraged because of our daily struggles and daily oppression. Parts of you that are not sure what's going to unfold today. Parts of you that are curious and present, that are here. And parts of you that are anxious. I welcome all parts of you as we're standing here together. Many of us have been fighting for justice, liberation, and equity in our community for a long time. Because we know that our struggles and violence and oppression is systemic. And we also know that it's intergenerational. And we also know that we can't fight for justice in healthcare, in housing, in economic justice, when we don't take time to pause and tend to our individual grief. That's why I'd love to invite you to switch hats for the next 90 minutes, from being an advocate, an organizer, to just be. To be Jesse, to be Henry, to be Ava, to be Kalina, to be Zahara, to be Jay, to be Isha, Reina, and just be. So we can take care of ourselves in a community together. But before we do that and honor our fallen siblings, I would love to invite for us to receive wisdom and medicine from our trans elder. Please give a warm welcome to Alexis Martinez.
Hello. My name is Alexis Martinez, and I'm a trans woman. Okay, my life has been one of resistance, resilience, and revolution. Okay, to be trans is to be trans is to be living in a space where the only way you can survive is if you resist, people defining what your gender should be or how you should look or anything. All my life I have fought to be who I am. I was created by my maker the way that I am. Okay, my resilience has been, manifested in the way that I've had in my 73 years in this world. I've had to face families, friends, jobs, all of those things I've had to overcome. And to me, we need to be resilient to live. Okay, and revolution. I mean, every day of my life is a revolution. Every time that I can help a person change their name on my job, every day that I can, try to find a person a job, that's revolution. It's change. So my call is always, okay, and one of the things is that people like Elise should be celebrated. Yes, you can mourn her, but celebrate this woman's life, okay? She was a jewel, and she continues to have influence in this community. So all of these people behind me, all of them, okay, they were brave people. They stepped out and they knew that they were going to get great opposition. They had to be resilient just to overcome the oppression. And I refuse to look at them as victims. They were revolutionaries, they were warriors, and they're fallen heroes. So I just want people to understand that you don't have to love me, but respect me. Respect who I identify. I have the right to identify, my gender as in the same way that all of these people here. Every year we go through this, and it's like, I think this is the 13th or 14th year that I've stood on cold November days, going over this. And somehow, everyone here, on your jobs, the political choices you make, the people that you vote into office, your businesses, you have to stand up. It's not enough to put a sign on your window that says, that trans lives matter. No, you have to live that, okay? So, to me, I just want people to celebrate trans lives. And then I'm going to close, and I'm going to pass it over to, a dear friend and an associate, Iggy Ladd from the Chicago Therapy Collective.
Thank you, Alexis. Yeah, and let's give it up to our elders again. Their voices are so important in these conversations. And having intergenerational dialogue and community building is so important. So, this is a difficult day for me. Elise Malary and Nuka Halban were two very important members of Chicago Therapy Collective. They were also two very important members of the LGBTQ community. They're activists, they're artists, they're the most big-hearted people, actually, that I had in my life, I feel, up until that point, that I lost both of them in the last year. Elise and Nuka also were responsible for co-planning a couple of our Trans Day of Remembrance resilience ceremonies before this one. So I cannot describe the hole that I feel having both Elise and Nuka no longer with us. But as Alexis said, in addition to, making space for our grief, acknowledging our grief, and thank goodness we will be having our wonderful therapist, activist, Nat, taking care of us later this evening. There's something to celebrate today, and there's something to celebrate this weekend. For the first time in Chicago, we had 3 trans-led organizations from across the city come together to do something different, to do something new. I want to take a moment to raise up Brave Space Alliance. Right here, Jay at the front. Life is Work, Sahara, Bassett, right at the front. After we lost Elise, we realized, I think, as organizational leaders, also as activists across LGBTQ organizations, that we need to do something different too. We need to ask ourselves, what's our growth edge as trans-led organizations, as LGBTQ organizations? And to us, that is figuring out how to work together across the city. So this year, we had events on the south, west, and north side to represent solidarity across the city, collaboration across the city, and we had the support of countless, all of our LGBTQ organizations and centers in Chicago backing us up this year. So I just want to take a moment to pause and celebrate that. Can we give a round of applause to all of our community leaders who decided we need to make a change? And on top of that, this week in City Hall, to speak to the power of Elise's legacy that is living beyond her physical existence, we had City Council and Mayor Lightfoot we had City Council and Mayor Lightfoot make a commitment to Chicagoans to say enough is enough. Trans violence across our neighborhoods in Chicago needs to end. Trans violence in the workplace needs to end. And we had actual commitments from alders and the mayor that is unprecedented. Alder people across the city are committing to link 5 businesses to the initiative that Elise championed at Chicago Therapy Collective called Hire Trans Now. And those businesses themselves make commitments to incorporate trans-inclusive workplace practices. 50 alders doing that in every neighborhood in this city is a big deal. And we had Mayor Lightfoot and the mayor's office also commit to making the highest level of our city government more trans-inclusive for workers in that office and the constituents that they serve. So let's take a moment to also recognize our city officials who are stepping up with us and saying enough is enough. Come on. This is what we need more of. And it is the greatest shame that we did not respond to Elise's call to action while she was still with us, but we absolutely must respond to her call to action now that she's gone.
Right.
Yes. So with that said, we are going to start to make that shift back to that personal level that Nat was talking about. I take a moment to tapping into my therapist gear, folks. Feel your feet. All right. Connect to your heart. Notice how you're feeling. We're going to invite a couple loved ones to Elise to speak next. So I want to first invite Ange, who was Elise's closest friend, just to share some words from their heart about how they're feeling on this day. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day, everyone. My name's the Honorable Angelina Nordstrom. I use they, them, theirs pronouns. Elise was my bestie and still is. I still hold that particular relationship to be true. As I stand before you in a state of fatigue and despair, we are still losing beautiful trans siblings left and right without the accountability that accompanies the egregiously inhumane behavior in the hands of those who justify the morbid actions to take such bright and beautiful lives. I am in a state of fatigue because despite the many platforms to which I have stood to give insight as to how paramount our lives are, those words have fallen on deaf ears. I am in a state of despair because as those words have fallen onto deaf ears, more of our trans and non-binary siblings' lives are being cut short, taken prematurely, and unceremoniously devalued as a result of their courage to embrace the truth of their own happiness. When will we see justice for all of our fallen siblings? How we define justice is when bad things happen to innocent people by those who have found solace in causing harm or trauma, either physically, mentally, or financially. Can swift justice be served to make those innocent people whole and hold the people who cause them harm fully accountable for their behavior in an equitable fashion? In this case, we believe that the trans community is worth justice, just like anyone else. Yet, when it's been demonstrated that trans lives only matter when the wants and desires of others are met, and then we're discarded as if we hold no value, this society pays it no mind. I am tired of that. While I am tired of lip service from allies, I am putting a call to action to accomplices to step forward and to step up. This should not be such an experience where the trans community is an afterthought day in and day out. We should not be experiencing a dereliction of duties from our allies. This is why I am alerting our accomplices that we still have a problem. And the problem is that we are not safe. Until we have a stop to the senseless murders of trans lives, we will never, ever, ever be safe. I'm very scared and I'm very concerned for our trans youth as well, because they may believe that this is what it means to be truthful and to be brave and to be courageous, and that they may not live that long. And with the trans youth being more courageous than I ever imagined myself to be at their age, it is especially important for this call of action to be answered. And until that call of action is answered and addressed, we're never going to be safe. And while we are paying tribute to all of these beautiful lives here, we're not doing them any justice until we actually do the work to put a stop to this. And for those of you who consider yourselves to be allies, you might want to try a little bit harder. Be an accomplice instead. Accomplices step forward, and accomplices continue to work tirelessly alongside our community. Anyone can be an ally, but not everyone can be an accomplice. And that's facts. So, while I have your attention, I guess I will pass this on to the next person. I see that Fabi is here. Fabi is Elise's sister, and I'm going to pass this on to her so she can have an opportunity to share her experiences.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone who came out here today on this chilly day to attend Elise's second vigil of the year. And despite that Elise is no longer here, I feel so proud to be able to call Elise my family. I feel proud to be standing here with all of you to celebrate Elise's life and all that she did for her community. Our family is so blessed to know that not only was Elise loved by so many people, but also that her legacy will not go in vain, and that the work that she was so passionate about is still continuing here today. I want to thank everyone who shared or donated to Elise's GoFundMe so that this money could be used for her funeral and her burial. And with the help of everyone sharing and donating, we were able to raise over $30,000 for Elise's burial and funeral. We were able to give Elise the funeral that she deserved and to lay her at rest in a beautiful mausoleum at Rose Hill Cemetery. I was able to have a pendant made with Elise's fingerprint on it and her engraving, the year that she was born and the year that she died. Every time I feel like I want to cry, I hold on to this pendant that I'm wearing here today with Elise's fingerprint on it. And it helps me feel closer to my sister. And that was with the help of you all. I want to say happy Transgender Day of Remembrance to the most resilient trans person I know and I've ever met, my sister, Elise Malary. Your spirit is with us, and I know you are in a better place, smiling down, seeing how much we love you and miss you so dearly. I will not stop fighting until we can have justice for my sister, Elise Malary. And I want this to happen so that we can live in a world where violence against Black trans women no longer exists. In a world where people can be proud to live in their truth. In a world filled with so much hate that our hearts can be filled with love and acceptance for our trans siblings. Until we meet again, my dear sister, justice for Elise Malary. Thank you.
So I'm going to be introducing our last speaker. And do we have a CTC person who can help us start lighting some candles? So between now and when we arrive at the ceremony, we'll begin lighting the candles. Many of us might not do that until we reach the end. But our next speaker to close us off is KJ Whitehead. KJ is an incredible artist, also was a friend of Elise, and has been doing very local activism at the intersection of Black Lives Matter and Trans Lives Matter. So let's take a moment and give KJ a round of applause.
Afternoon, everyone. I say afternoon as opposed to good afternoon, because even though we're gathered here to mourn the loss and recognize these sweet souls, this is this better? Very much so. Afternoon, everyone. I say afternoon. I say afternoon as opposed to good afternoon, because even though we're gathered here to mourn the loss of and recognize these sweet souls, this is not a good afternoon. This is not something I look forward to, and not a speech I wanted to give to mourn my colleagues. But while I'm here, I want you all to ask yourselves, it's not just a matter of, what to do. It's a matter of when you do it. When is it time to act? When it is the time to act. Because this togetherness only seems to happen when it's too late. And why do we do this? It's because we never think things can get this bad. We never think things will get this bad with people we know and love. And that doesn't make us bad, but it does prove that we have so much more work to do. Elise and Nuka saw what some of us hope for every day. A better tomorrow for transgender people. And now more so than the days of Stonewall, legislation and societal war has been declared on us, and they did everything they could to fend them off. And they didn't wait until someone died. So it makes no sense for us to do that. To only say that trans lives matter when we've been reduced to hashtags and bones. We deserve better. For all you who call yourselves allies, we deserve your questions instead to understand us, instead of talking about us to someone who isn't us. We deserve your ears when we tell you that you did something wrong, because at least we're trying to tell you instead of writing you off. We deserve your resilience because we are so tired. Elise and Nuka and all the folks behind me with their portraits, they were tired. And so they sleep. We live in a neighborhood that is supposed to be a safe haven for us. And there are TERF stickers being put up places where a pro-gay and a pro-abortion rights stickers once were. I had to peel chewing gum off of this mural. As a resident, if my resilience and that of my siblings has to be tested every day in this neighborhood as a transgender woman, then I question your resilience as allies. Still, we're tired, as are some of you. And so what I offer in closing is this. A quote from Charlie Chaplin back in 1940. A different one from the Chaplin quote I usually use. More than machinery, we need humanity. And more than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. And no matter who or what you are here, I hope you all have that kindness and gentleness you deserve now, before you are just another hashtag. Thank you.
This morning, we got some very brutal news that it doesn't quite feel right to close today without naming. Colorado, which was once a home for me as well, has just had another mass shooting at an LGBTQ nightclub. A safe space for LGBTQ folks in Colorado Springs. Andersonville is a safe space for our LGBT community here. We cannot be having our safe spaces violated. This is unacceptable. And I don't know how many of you remember the Pulse massacre, but sometimes I can still hear, I don't even want to share the sounds, what it sounds like in my mind, but I can still hear the sounds of the videos that were posted that night. And it took me about a year to be able to be in an LGBTQ nightclub without actually feeling hearing the sound and being quite uneasy. And so I just want to take a moment before we go ahead and make our way to the fire and we mourn our trans siblings. I just want to take a moment of pause and silence to extend our hearts out to the at least 5, I think it's more now, lives, LGBTQ lives that were taken at this Club Q in Colorado Springs. So please just take a moment of silence with me. It's unacceptable, and we need to do better, Chicago. We need to lead by example and show the United States what kind of city our cities should look like. Those 5 individuals, which I'm sure we'll be learning more about in the coming hours, deserve to be here, just like these 32 individuals that were mourning at this altar. So with that, I want to invite everybody, this community that is impacted by the deaths of our trans loved ones, our LGBTQ loved ones. We are in a common struggle, and we need to come together, and we need to have events like this and more events like this where we can be building more connection and solidarity and ultimately community power so that we can demand the kind of futures that we all deserve. So with that, I see many of you have your candles lit. Beautiful. If you don't have a candle lit, you can turn to a neighbor. It might get extinguished in the wind on our walk over, and that's okay. We'll continue relighting as we go through the night. But now we'll make our way to the Chicago Waldorf School, and we'll have a couple of our CTC members help lead the way. Okay, thank you all.
With my name. Hi, I'm Nat. Thank you for allowing me to hold space for all of us today. Today is the day of remembrance, and we have quite a lot to remember. As we remember our fallen siblings who left us too soon, we also remember our capacity for love. As we remember our grief, we also remember our collective power. And as I'm looking around at the fire, I know that each and every one of us is bringing something unique and special and powerful. No matter how small, no matter how faint, to our collective trans and gender non-conforming liberation. And that is our collective liberation and action and power. And together we can hold collective grief for all of the fallen siblings. And I want to invite my sister and best friend, Miss Mister, to read the names of our fallen siblings.
So I'm going to share the names aloud now of our trans and non-binary siblings we lost through violence this year. Paloma Vasquez from Texas. Tatiana LaBelle from Chicago. Catherine Katie Newhouse from Georgia. Kenyatta Kesha Webster from Mississippi. Mia Love Parker from Pennsylvania. Ariana Mitchell from Virginia. Fern Feather from Vermont. Sasha Mason, North Carolina. Shanalika Bella Dior Hemingway from New York. Brazil Johnson from Wisconsin. Ray Muscat, Michigan. Charmaine Giselle Marie, Mississippi. Nedra Sequence Morris, Florida. Kitty Monroe, Tennessee. A.C. Morrison, South Dakota. Martasia Richmond, Chicago. Amarli Lesh, Pennsylvania. Duval Princess, Florida. Keisha Chanel Gator, Georgia. Cherry Bush, California. Maricela Castro, Texas. Hayden Davis, Detroit. Dee Dee Ricks, Detroit. Candy Reed, Kansas. Maddie Hoffman, Pennsylvania. Maya Allen, Wisconsin. Samaj Billingsley, Florida. Erin Lynch, Virginia. Tiffany Banks, Florida. Cypress Ramos, Texas. Naomi Skinner, Michigan. Matthew Angelo Spampanato, Delaware. We're with you, you're with us, always and forever.
Thank you, Ms. Sister. We know that our fallen siblings were not and are not just numbers and statistics. So to really honor them in their full humanity and dignity, I invite all of us to write two things. One is the things that we wish we had told them or said to them that we didn't get a chance to. Or the second thing could be parts of them that we would like to carry in our heart and in our action as we move forward, as we carry their legacies forward. I want to invite a moment for all of us to reflect on that as the pieces of paper and pen are being passed around. And whenever you're ready, if you'd like to grab those pieces of paper along with the dried flowers and put them in the fire to let them know. And we'll have that moment together. So I'll repeat them with prompts. I invite you to write things that you would love to let them know but didn't get a chance to. Or parts of who they were that you would like to carry with you as you carry their legacy.
On behalf of Elise and our other fallen trans siblings, it's been a difficult day for me. A whirlwind of emotions, but when I look at the community that we have together, it brings joy to my heart. I want to thank each and every single one of you for everything that you've done for us, our family, Elise, everything. Just showing up, just being here, saying Elise's name, saying our trans siblings' names. Knowing that we will never forget our trans siblings, and we stand with our trans siblings, always and forever. So thank you, everyone.
For our closing for today's grieving ceremony, I want to invite us to be the voice for our siblings who could not have any voice any longer by humming together. And let the vibration in our chest and in our body say to Elise, to Nuka, and to Titi, and to other fallen siblings that we love them. And we are here as a part of their legacy and carrying that forward. So my invitation is for us to inhale and on our exhale, hum. one last time where it feels right for you. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay connected here by the fire if you'd like, or inside when it's warmer and there's more hot chocolate. Until next time, please take care, everyone. And I want to throw this mic away.
So, you saw everything that happened today. My face is a mess because it was just, believe it or not, but it was freezing. It was probably in the 20s. And so it was very, very difficult to stand out there for extended periods of time, give a speech, making everything just run the way it did. And it did not help that we were out there for several hours at a time, but it was for a very necessary cause to raise awareness for Trans Day of Remembrance, not just for, you know, my bestie Elise, but for every trans life we've lost so far this year in 2022, even though by the time you see this is 2023. But any year, regardless, it's a problem. I did say I was going to make sure I got my copy of the resolution back that I mentioned in the previous episode that was passed in Elise's honor. And this is first page of it, the seal. And then this is page 2. Signed by Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, as well as the city clerk. It's the beginning of something to ensure that city positions are being equitable towards trans applicants. I can say that we're going in the right direction with to uphold her legacy. In addition to that, believe it or not, and as quiet as it's kept, I was proudly showing off Vern. I was showing off your hoodie, even though it's tight as hell. I thought I ordered an extra large, and I think it is, but it's still too tight. So I might have to order another one. But I love it. I love this color. It really looks amazing on me. Spread love and spread light. I wish I could do the Vern kisses the way she does it, because I can't do it the way she does it. The way Vern does it is just so sincere. It's loving, and only she can do it the way she can. So I was showing off Vern, you know, Elevate with Vern. And I'm showing off Tia Ewing with the earrings from her Valentine's Day collection. So If you haven't already, like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell as you do. Give me a thumbs up if you really like this episode. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And share this out with your friends. I'm ready to unwind because I smell like a bonfire. And I'm ready to get out of all this stuff because I don't want to continue to smell like a bonfire all night. So I hope that you enjoyed this and enjoyed the acknowledgement of Trans Day of Remembrance. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and continue to be empowered and continued to answer the calls to action that I'm putting out there and that other amazing leaders are putting out there, because we got when it comes down to it. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Be good to one another, and thank you.
Let's go.